Hello, everybody. This is Sharonda again, and this is my YouTube channel, Spiritual Sense. And in this podcast, as well as this YouTube webinar, I go over a variety of topics in reference to the paranormal, angels, demons, near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, huntings. I go over some tarot card reading as well, and pagan belief systems and practices. And so today I am going to do an update on a previous video that I did. I want to say it's probably been about a year and a half, maybe 2 years now, in reference to shape shifting versus spiritual countenance. I consider it to be spiritual countenance, but you may be familiar if you have heard of shape shifting. So before I proceed, let me proceed to pull up what the definition of shape shifting as defined. Okay, so it mentions that shape shifting or shapeshifter is one that seems able to change form or identity at will. That is that depiction of what shape shifting is. But I am going to see if I'm able to pull up even more information in regards to that. Okay, so I am on a website and I'm going to go off of, it's a lot of information on here. And this is something that I think is very, very, interesting, very informative type of things for those individuals who may be out here, who, interested things such as this. So I am on a website and it mentions shapeshifters, what are they and are they real? So it goes on to mention about that is the ability to physically transform into another shape, be it that of another human or an animal. This also includes the idea that animals can turn into other animals. Shapeshifting can come about in a variety of ways. It mentions in some myths, the ability to shapeshift is an inherent one, meaning some people are simply born with the skill. Other shapeshifters allegedly acquire the skill by means of magic or divine intervention. Shapeshifters can often control when they change shape, but not always. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis of that. I do feel as though, in essence, when you are in, like, if you have a personal relationship with your supreme being, called God, whatever your belief system is, and you have asked God to guide your steps and protect you from any injury, harm, or danger. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. When you do that, and if danger arise, real danger, I feel as though God will protect you and shield you as such. Many a times, and I'll give you an example as to what I mean. So shape shifting, I feel like it can happen across the board. I feel as though that is spiritual countenance. So it can, it has no, it's not, specified to no specific gender, race, ethnic origin, age group, as such. I think we all have that capability through favor of God. I honestly do, because in essence, it can be used in an unfavorable sense, but I do feel like it can be useful in a favorable sense. And in terms of if you are, presented with someone who is dangerous, particularly if you are presented with somebody who, let's say by happenstance, is, prejudiced, don't like your race. In their mind's eye, you may appear to be something that they do like. Okay. Or perhaps if it's somebody who has been traumatized by women and only respects men. So they may be aware that they're speaking to a woman, but they don't view you as a woman. You may be viewed in the sense of some type of masculine quality that they will respect. Not necessarily that you are a man per se, but you will come in, it will be some sense of comfort or solace for them. Okay. So that in a sense is spiritual countenance. I think it happens by way of shape shifting. I think that a shapeshifter is a gift. It's also a defense mechanism and tool. Shape shifting is not going and going and throwing a wig on and some makeup and all this other stuff. No, that's imitation. That's mockery. Shape shifting is more than just going and altering your appearance. Shape shifting is spiritual. And that's why, I coined the term shape shifting versus spiritual countenance. Okay. Well, which actually is one and the same, but imitation versus, I guess, shape shifting by way of spiritual countenance. Okay. So let me go a little further in the presentation information that I have pulled up here. So it says, this ability to metamorph is also known as theoranthropy. This rather antiquated term also pertains to when a deity transforms a human into some type of flora or fauna. Shapeshifting is a cross-cultural concept spanning continents, countries, and multiple regions. The idea that someone can turn into an animal at will has been a prevalent notion in literature since the epic of Gilgamesh was written in 1800 BC. So it mentions about the types of shapeshifters. There are multiple types of animals that are common in varying myths, but none so more than the werewolf. This popular concept is also known as lycanthropy. The ability to turn into a wolf exists in Native American, European, and Canadian cultures, but often seems most heavily used in Norse mythology. Loki, the famous Norse god, is said to have turned into a female wolf in order to hear his son, Fenrir. The Volsunga saga is a poem that was written in the 13th century in which the characters turned into wolves both on purpose and by accident. So it just goes in, terms about, different cultures and what their folklore belief are in regards to shifting. And of course, when you hear the terms of mythology and folklore and things of that nature, those terms are used in the context meaning to not give power to it or not pay attention to it or give much credence to it. But it is real. It's real. So it says stories from Trinidad and Tobago also include humans that have the ability to turn into wolves. They are often referred to as loup-garou, yet another term for werewolf. It is believed that abilities are handed down from ancient Creole families, which are families that practice old African magic, or perhaps even a family member that considers himself to be a witch doctor. Okay, so it says there are other types of shapeshifter varying in appearance, ability, and perhaps most importantly, intent. Okay, so it goes into terms of the different shapeshifters, and I will begin to go over some of those now. It mentions the skinwalkers. According to the Navajo tribe, skinwalkers are evil witches that possess the ability to turn into different animals. Most tales regarding skinwalkers are not openly discussed outside of Navajo communities. However, it is believed that these particular shapeshifters were once traditional healers who eventually became corrupt. We have the Wendigo. Wendigo is a mythological evil spirit from the Algonquian tribes of eastern Canada. It is believed that this evil entity can possess and control humans, forcing them to commit murder and sometimes cannibalism. The Wendigo has become more widely known and has even influenced the naming of modern controversial syndrome, such as Wendigo psychosis. Psychiatrists use this term to describe individuals who both fear they will become cannibals and for those who actually admit to craving human flesh. Okay, so that could very well be, I'm just, trying to get, because when you begin to read a lot of this information, it sounds foolish. It sounds like a mockery as such. But when you begin to see, this is how the spirits work. This is how demonic spirits work. And it is something that, most people would just brush off and say they crazy or don't pay that any attention. That could very well be somebody that has some type of, something medically going on with them. Okay. So it has another type of shapeshifter, the Jarok, which is a Inuit shapeshifter that assumes as many forms as it will. It is very elusive and impossible to see if you attempt to look at it straight on. It will slip by in your peripheral. This eerie being can occasionally be helpful to hunters and who stumble upon them. They can dangerously manipulate a fatal intent. They are also known for slipping into family dwellings at night, kidnapping any children present, and abandoning them in some faraway, deserted location. So, of course, when you begin to read a lot of the information that is presented on here, anybody can get a website and place some things on here. So basically, this is, in a sense, like a kidnapper or somebody who would want to, steal somebody's child. This is a tool to manipulate and control someone from doing the things that they want to do. And, in essence, because, a lot of the information that I read on these websites is mockery. So when I begin to present it out, that's as such. Don't take a lot of that stuff as face value, because what you will begin to see is that a lot of things that you read is false doctrine and it's written under the guidance of a demonic spirit. Okay, so we're going to proceed to the next one. Aswang. According to myths from the Philippines, the dreaded Aswang is a very evil, very adaptable shapeshifter. It can assume the shape of a bat, a black boar, a black cat, or a large black dog. Okay, now I've seen a black boar, a family of 3 black boars, a couple of weeks ago before I had my accident actually on the way from work. Okay, where a deer ran into me and hit my car. It's like it likes to emerge at night and stalks any human it can find. Other shapeshifters, such as the Capri, the Tikbalang, and the Encanto, also exist in Filipino culture. These types of shapeshifters are known for their attempts at wooden young, attractive females who have yet to be married. In one better known story called Kanguita, the Monkey Wife, a beautiful woman is lured out of one of these malicious shapeshifters. She is turned into a monkey against her will and will remain a monkey until the end of her days, unless she finds a handsome young man, makes him fall in love with her, and he offers her his hand in marriage. How wonderful is that? I do feel as though whoever put this on here was prejudiced. Okay. Now we're going to go to the Kamiho, which is a fox that possesses the ability to take on the shape of any human it likes. Stories of the Kamiho are prevalent in Chinese, Japanese, and Korean culture, but the animal is considered friendly in nature to the Chinese and Japanese. Korean myths tales of evil deeds done by the fox. Wanting to be a full human, this nine-tailed fox will often assume a shape of a gorgeous woman and use her charm and wiles to seduce young men. Once the man has found himself in the arms of the Kamiho, she will rip out his heart and eat it and believe it will help her keep her human. Another variation claims the Kamiho will eat the human's liver instead. Once she has consumed 100 livers, she will remain a human indefinitely. I think this is a situation where somebody who is severely, it is a demonic spirit. It's a Jezebel prejudiced demonic spirit is what this is, this Kamiho. Okay. And what it is this is somebody who has not had her needs met. Like this is somebody who has starved to death, is what it is, and who has been severely critiqued, is what I'm getting at. And this is also in reference to the Ashwing. So they're one and the same. Okay. So what I gather from that is this is a spirit, a Jezebel spirit. But this is a Jezebel spirit who has been severely harassed. This is a spirit who has been around, could very well be a jealous, and this is not to say anything against any, same sex, relationships, but a gay, nasty spirit, a taunting, nasty spirit, a person that is doing it to be vindictive and nasty spirit is what this is. This is somebody who is in the eye of the media. Like it could very well be somebody that works in where her appearance is constantly looked at and constantly criticized and critiqued. And as a result of this, it's kind of put you in the mind of like if somebody is anorexic or bulimic. This is a spirit of somebody who is under who has a domineering, nasty, unhappy spirit above it, is what this is. Like somebody who has been shamed, particularly fat shame or shame as a woman, or and particularly a woman of color, is what I gathered from these two last shapeshifters. And this is a demonic spirit that devours this person because this person, because of trying to measure up, this is what has come about with these two shapeshifters. These are demonic presences, by the way. The two that I just mentioned about. It mentions shapeshifters in Greek mythology. It says shapeshifting is a common occurrence in early Greek literature and often linked to deities, such as it said Homer's The Odyssey, in which men are turned into pigs, thanks to the goddess Circle. Okay, Proteus, a Greek god of rivers and oceans, is also known for his shape-shifting abilities, gifted with the ability to foretell the truth or the future. Proteus was often sought out by gods and mortals alike. He would answer their questions, but only if they happened to catch him first. He will often change shape in order to elude anyone who searched for him. When you begin to pay attention to a lot of these things, you will begin to see that this is God in many facets of the nature. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled is convincing the world he did not exist. So you are being tested, is the point. Okay? As I mentioned, two-headed, two-faced, omnipresent. Shapeshifters in Irish and British mythology, fairies, witches, and wizards make frequent appearances in Irish and British folk tales, and they often have the ability to change their appearance as a plot device. It is believed that many types of fairies were merely limited to creating glamour, temporary illusions to slightly alter their appearance. But many witches and wizards had the capability to shift themselves and others into any shape they wish, be it an animal, a human, or even some type of plant. Witches were believed to turn into hares, sneak onto properties, and steal milk and butter. They're referring to witches, but in a sense, these are demonic spirits. So they're just another formal way of saying a demonic force or a demonic spirit. Shape shifting in Indian mythology. And once I conclude with this presentation, there's a couple of more things here that I want to read that's on the website. I'm going to play a video in regards to shape shifting in reference to, it says Indian, but actually it's Native American, okay, related. So it says Hindu folklore tells of Rakshasa, demonic beings that assume the shape of various animals in order to trick humans. The Rakshasa their natural forms are said to have two large fangs and long claws as fingernails. They enjoy feasting on human beings. In Hinduism, Buddhism, and Jainism, it is believed that a race of people called Naga exists. These entities are half mortal, half divine, and resides in the netherworld. Their natural forms are half human, half serpent, but it is believed they have the ability to assume the shape of ordinary humans as well. Shapeshifters in death. One type of shapeshifting that seems common across multiple cultures and belief systems is that the dead can also assume the shape of an animal, sometimes in order to simply visit their loved ones, but often in an attempt to get revenge on those who killed them. So I'm going to explain something to you. I am not an animal lover. I put it this way. I'm not an animal lover at all. But one thing I will tell you is this. God alerts me through animals. And this is how I know it's God, because I don't care. I'm not going to say I don't care about animals. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not fond of animals, particularly cats. Like I don't care for dogs, and I'm particularly not too fond of cats. But I begin to notice when cats show up, and particularly a dog, there is a message that needs to be conveyed, because I do not like cats. And as a matter of fact, one showed up I want to say it was yesterday, and it begins to let me know in what direction I need to focus on. And I kid you not. I kid you not. And I'm gonna give you an example. I'm going to before I finish out this presentation, I had an instance that happened. Now we're talking about animals. And I was working a job, and I was, worked the night shift, and I was not sleepy. I actually went out and have a smoke break, to be honest with you. And you may think this is cuckoo, crazy. Trust me, I know. Okay. But anyways, I'm not too fond of animals, as I mentioned. So I'm sitting out and I'm having the smoke, and I'm out there by myself in this, night shift, because I work the night shift. And out of nowhere, this dog appeared. And I wasn't afraid when the dog came, because the way the dog, I just can't explain it. It's the way the dog and the motion that the dog ran. That's how I knew that it was spiritual. Like it was a message that was need to be conveyed by way of how this dog, like it wasn't a normal, like how you see a dog kind of run in the field or run towards you. No, it was kind of like it was a gravity pull, so to speak. So that's how I knew not to be afraid when the dog came around. And when it came towards me and it realized that I seen it, I looked at the dog, and the dog stopped and it looked at me, and the dog grimaced. I kid you not. I know that sounds crazy. Trust me, I know. The dog grimaced as if a human. And I could just see it in its aura. It's like I can't explain it. It was like in its aura. That's the only way I can explain it. And when I began to get up to put my cigarette out, it, kind of looked at me like I ought to be afraid of you. And it ran off, so to speak. And I thought that was kind of odd. It was a message that needed to be conveyed. Because like I said, I'm not too fond of dogs. And I think that's why he alerts me through vessels that I wouldn't commonly or ordinarily, sometimes when we are bombarded with some of the similar same things, we become what? Desensitized. So I'm going to capture you through this way or this mode. So you would know that this is me. See, to a dog lover or animal lover, they'll just go, okay, whatever. But to me, it's very significant to me because I don't like animals. I really don't have, I'm not going to say I don't like them, knock on wood. Not going to say that. I'm not fond of animals. Okay. And so that is something I wanted to just, touch on. So let's get back to so it mentions about shapeshifters and death. One type of shapeshifting that seems common across multiple cultures and belief systems is that the dead can assume the shape of animals, sometimes in order to simply visit their loved ones, but often in an attempt to get revenge on those who killed them. These ghostly visitors often assume the shapes of birds, such as a white dove or a white duck. People who often elect to visit their loved ones in this manner were murdered in some particularly gruesome manner, once no longer living. They attempt to visit loved ones in these shapes, either to say goodbye or in an attempt to let their loved ones know what really happened to them. Hey, I wouldn't doubt that the spirit of your loved ones would take form or shape in the mold of an animal, okay? To make you aware. So one macabre story, The White and the Black Bride, is a German folklore. A sorcerer in disguise asks for directions. A mother and a daughter refuse to help him, but the stepdaughter does. The mother and daughter are then turned black and ugly, while the stepdaughter is rewarded with eternal beauty and infinite wealth. The king learns of the stepdaughter's beauty and decides to marry her. But the mother enchants the waiting coachman to become half blind, and she curses her stepdaughter to become half deaf. The mother then tricks the coachman to lose his way and brings the stepdaughter to a window where the mother proceeds to push her out. Upon her death, the stepdaughter hears that the mother has convinced the king to marry her, the Black Bride. The stepdaughter is then able to transfer herself into a white dove and begins to talk to a boy who works in the kitchens. When the king hears of a talking dove, he finds it and cuts its head off. But this seemingly violent act transformed the stepdaughter into her ordinary living self again. Thus, the king marries her and kills the Black Bride. So that is a story which is kind of, you know, I'm just, reading it off. Another Avenger shapeshifter tale, the Rose Tree. Adored by her stepbrother, but hated by her stepmother, a young lady agrees to let her stepmother comb out her hair for her, claiming her hair is far too detangled for an ordinary comb. The stepmother convinces the girl to retrieve an axe. The stepmother then uses the axe to cut off her head and put the girl's heart and liver into a stew for the family to eat. Morning, the stepbrother does not eat any of the soup, but rather buries his stepsister under some roses in the yard. Determined to have her revenge, the dead stepdaughter comes back as a white bird, winning over the affections of local townsfolk. They give her a pair of red shoes, a gold watch, and a giant stone. Wrapping the stone against the house, the family believes a storm has started. The stepbrother comes out, and the white bird rewards him with the red shoes. The father comes out, and the white bird rewards him with the gold watch. Finally, when the evil stepmother comes out, the white bird drops the millstone on her head, killing her on the spot. So it mentions about shapeshifting. Is it real? Well, there is much debate about whether or not shapeshifters really exist. Shapeshifting has been such a common concept on global level for so long. Many argue that there is simply no way it is a fictional ability. Others, however, state that to change shapes in such a drastic, all encompassing manner is currently scientifically impossible. Body alteration happens slowly over time. Despite current day technology, it is impossible to add or remove mass that does not previously already exist. Metamorphosis does occur in the natural world, such as when a tadpole develops into a frog. However, this process is gradual and the mass acquired by the tadpoles is no more than what is physically possible as their organs grow between 12 to 16 weeks. Modern day movies and shows often depict the process of shape shifting to be a quick, seemingly eloquent or elegant transition done in a matter of minutes, even seconds. Unfortunately, this is not remotely accurate. Shape shifting so rapidly would be excruciatingly painful to the point where most people will die in the process due to shock, as they have listed here. Shape shifting as a mental process. The ideal of shape shifting as a mental exercise is considered possible to many. Individuals who practice meditation and deep trance like techniques claim they can mentally project their mental self away from their physical self. This process will allow a person to temporarily transport their spirit into the body of an animal without physically altering their cellular makeup. While the spirit travels, the individual body would remain an empty vessel in an unconscious state. So, just to give my account on this, because shape shifting is real, even though I did choose to click on this particular website, shape shifting is real. It's I like to refer to it as spiritual countenance. Is what I like to refer to shape shifting as, which is spiritual. I do know that and have the capability of reasoning and understanding that, hey, it does take time for things to happen in terms of physical wise. I do understand that, but you do also have the ability to change within 24 hours or even a matter of few hours in terms of physical. Okay, that is possible in certain instances, such as if you're dealing with some type of injury, swelling, and things of that nature. But this is a little bit more often what point that this person was making on this website. Okay, so I'm going to proceed to a video that I want to play in regards to shape shifting. So give me just a moment. And I'm going to play this video.
The word probably makes you think of magical creatures, superheroes, or your favorite supernatural TV show. But shapeshifting is an important part of Native American culture. So who exactly can shapeshift? And how does it happen? And what does it mean? This video will answer all of these questions and help you understand why shapeshifting is important in Indigenous culture. Hi there, my name is Mallory and welcome back to the Tribal Tree channel. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for new videos every week about smudging, Indigenous culture, and Native teachings. If you've never heard of shapeshifting in this context before, this is a great place to start. Here at Tribal Tree, we love to help people learn about Indigenous culture, teachings, and our belief system, especially when it helps dispel misunderstanding or stereotypes about Native American culture. So if you're ready to learn the real meaning of shapeshifting and its importance, stick with us for the rest of this video. Shapeshifting can serve many different purposes, but is traditionally believed to play a role in healing and protecting Indigenous communities. To give you just a little bit more information about this, we're exploring 5 facts about shapeshifting that you might not have heard before and shapeshifting's overall importance to Native American culture. The first fact about shapeshifting and Native American culture is that shapeshifting is the transformation of human into animal form. Shapeshifting is a way that people can become fully in tune with their natural instincts, bonding them with an animal that most identify them. Traditionally, shapeshifters might transform into wolves, bears, or eagles in order to help heal or protect their communities. Shapeshifting not only provides benefits for individual communities, but deepens the bond between human, nature, and wild animals, which is an important component of Indigenous teachings, beliefs, and spirituality. The second fact about shapeshifting is that anyone can shapeshift. Traditionally, hunters might shapeshift more than others. Elders and healers might also be more likely to shapeshift in order to protect their tribes. However, anyone who can train themselves to let their ego go and become shapeless can take on the qualities of their chosen animal. All it takes is practice, diligence, and self-awareness. What animal would you like to shapeshift? Or what animal really speaks to you? Please let us know in the comments below. Now that you know what exactly shapeshifting is and a little bit about who can do it, let's discuss in more detail about how the process works. The third fact about shapeshifting and Native American culture is that the shapeshifting process often occurs during Native American song, dance, hunting rituals, and other ceremonies. Dancers might dress themselves in feathers or animal pelts to activate their instinctual animal spirit while they move. Shapeshifting isn't just about moving as the animal would, it's about becoming that animal. These dances offer the opportunity for an out-of-body experience by asking us to fully free our mind, body, and spirit. It takes a special headspace to shapeshift, and people might participate in these activities when there is a special need for shapeshifting, such as hunting, a need for protection, or a time of healing for a community. The fourth fact about shapeshifting is that shapeshifting means being truly connected with our ancestors and all living things. Shapeshifter is associated with freedom, strength, and being in touch with your instincts. Shapeshifting occurs through a true appreciation of our ancestors, our spirituality, and our connection to all living things. By learning and utilizing these lessons, the shapeshifter is blessed with the gift of shapeshifting into the animal that most aligns with their qualities. Cunning, courage, loyalty, strength, kindness, passion. In this way, shapeshifting is not only a ritual or a sacred practice, but an important part of learning about yourself and moving towards one's personal journey. Every shapeshifting experience will bring you richness to your life because it allows you to see the world from a different perspective. When humans limit themselves to only their own view of the world, it limits empathy, compassion, and respect for other viewpoints, which are crucial components of our society and our world. And finally, the fifth fact about shapeshifting in Native American culture is that shapeshifting is similar to, but not the same thing as your spirit animal. While a spirit animal is an animal that presents itself to us in order to help us on our journey, shapeshifting is the process of actually having an experience which transforms us mentally from human to animal. No person is limited to just one spirit animal. You can have many spirit animals who appear to help you on your journey at each stage of your life. Each shapeshifter is different, but will likely have one animal that they are easily able to shift into, allowing them to leave their human constraints behind. Shapeshifting and spirit animals have very similar meanings and lessons to teach us about ourselves, such as our core values, who we are as a person, our mental state and well-being, and our connection to the Creator and all living things, as well as our own sense of self-awareness. While these teachings definitely go together hand in hand, they have drastically different experiences to offer us, and each holds a unique place in the Native American culture. For more information about spirit animals and other indigenous teachings, we're including links to some of those videos and blog posts below in the description. These should help you learn everything you need to know about a wide variety of important indigenous teachings and practices. I hope this video has helped you break down some of your preconceptions about shapeshifting, what it means, and how it happens. Be sure to share with your friends and family who might also enjoy learning about a new perspective on something we often see portrayed in pop culture. Be sure to find us on Facebook for an inclusive community focused on Indigenous teachings. And be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos just like this one. What excites you the most about shapeshifting? Feel free to share with us in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time.
So that was a video. I didn't get to see all of the video, but I do want it to be known that shape shifting, spiritual countenance is real. And once you have began to make that spiritual renewing, you will see how it all ties in together. When revelation has been and favor has been shown upon you, you will see it. It will radiate in your countenance. It will radiate in your being. I think in terms of, as I mentioned, in regards to a defense mechanism, like if you are in actual danger or you are in the company of somebody who is unsure, God will radiate that essence, that favor for those who may not know. Okay, but essentially that's what spiritual countenance is, or shape shifting. Okay, I think it's a gift as well as a skill. A gift meaning it could be done at will. A skill meaning that is something that he will give to you in certain circumstances if you open up and ask for that ability or capability. Kind of similar to prophecy. I feel as though prophecy is a skill. I feel like some people are gifted, meaning they are more, they have the ability to grasp things on a higher sensibility, which I feel as though that is a gift in itself. But prophecy, I believe, is a skill, meaning anyone can have it. It could be given and it could be taken away. That's what I'm getting at. Anybody can be a false prophet. Anybody could be a prophet. Meaning anybody can possess the ability to prophesy something. That's anybody, I feel. So I believe, and I would like to state that that is a skill. Some people say that when you're able to foretell or to see into the future or to know, that will be considered to be demonic. No, what that is they don't want you to pay attention to it. That demon don't want to be revealed within it. Okay, so that's where you have people feel like you are invading their privacy, confidentiality, and things of that nature. No. I don't feel the need to probe and pry. That's why I mention the things that I do into nobody's personal affairs. If God wants me to know something, he's going to put it in me, whether I want to know or not. That's just plain and simple. Does he does that all the time? No. Okay. But and this is apart from your average common sense, common knowledge type of thing. No. This is apart from that, something that ultimately, people can reason and understand. This is far beyond that. Okay. So I am going to close out this presentation on shape-shifting versus spiritual countenance. And if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, you have a safe and wonderful day. Good day.